Okay, viewer warning right up front. If you are a person who is easily offended, if you're a person who is not willing to have their worldview challenged, to look at other thoughts and things that are outside of your comfort zone, then turn this video off now. Okay? You're not going to enjoy the experience. Because in this video, we're going to talk about some things, and I'm going to challenge everyone that watches this video to think about things in maybe ways they haven't thought of them before. So if you're a person that can't deal with that, then you know what? Shut it off, close it, go watch Saturday Night Live reruns, go watch Colbert, whatever makes you happy. Just don't bother. Don't waste your time or mine. So we're going to talk today a little bit about, we had another mass shooting in Florida at a school. And this is an absolute horrific event. This shouldn't happen. We know that. It tears at the heartstrings of each and every person, in this country, to see innocent children targeted and robbed of their future. This is just not who we are. It's not who we want to be, and it's not who we used to be as a country and as a people. And as you look at the reaction from people, there's a lot of things that are very predictable. Ban the guns, ban the tool that did this, because that's easy. We can latch onto it. It's something we think we can do that's going to make a difference. But the truth is it won't. It won't make a bit of difference. Because historically, we've been killing each other for thousands of years, long before guns came around. So the tool itself doesn't matter. If somebody's determined to do this, and you take away one tool, they'll pick up another tool. It's human nature. It's what we do. And so what we really need to talk about is the underlying behavior. Why is this happening? Because I can tell you, when I went to school, in my pickup truck and in dozens of other pickup trucks in a parking lot of the school, there were guns in the gun racks in the back window of my pickup truck. Rifle and shotgun loaded. Truck windows were down. Truck was unlocked. And we didn't have school shootings. Didn't happen. Why? Because we knew better. We knew that that's not something we're supposed to do. Okay? So the tools have always been there. The difference now is society as a whole and what we're teaching our children. Because, I was never taught that. And I didn't need to be taught that. And that became really clear and evident. I was having a discussion talking about this whole thing, and there was somebody saying, oh, yeah, we need to, feel bad and memorialize the 17 kids that gave their life, all in defense of the NRA. Okay, totally out of historical context, not looking at both sides of the issue, but it sparked a thought and said, okay, fine, we're going to do that. Then we also need to feel bad and memorialize all the millions of children that are killed every year by abortion. Because irregardless of whether it's done with a knife and a forceps and some poison that gets injected into a body of a fetus, the end result's the same. That child is robbed of their life, their future. So it's the same. You can try to argue different nuances and things, but the end result is the same. A child was robbed of his or her future. So we're having this discussion, and I get a lot of responses. A lot of them very predictable. A lot of them trying to justify abortion, so on and so forth. And one guy comes on and says, you can't come in here and spout your religious beliefs and try to push them on other people and, so on and so forth. And I'm like, whoa, time out, dude. Time out. This has absolutely nothing to do with religion. It doesn't. Because as a human being, I know inherently, I didn't have to be taught, I didn't have to go to a church. My parents didn't even have to tell me. You respect life as a human being. It's part of who we are. It's part of human nature. It's a normal thing. It's how we feel. Normal people. Some people who have mental health issues don't have those same feelings and those same mechanisms. And so that's a part of the issue that needs to be discussed. But for most of us, and most of you watching this video, whether you agree with my views or not, you know in here that respecting life, whether it be human, whether it be dogs, cats, horses, animals, think about it. How often on Facebook do you see the videos going around of abused animals and everybody gets outraged? And they should, because that's not a behavior that we should do. We should not treat animals who are defenseless against us in that way. Shouldn't happen. And it shouldn't happen, and we all feel that way because inside we know that it's wrong. We know it's wrong to do that. Just like we know it's wrong to hurt another human being. So it doesn't matter what the animal is, whether it's a dog, a cat, a horse, or a boy or girl living down the street. And that's where it brings me back to the behaviors that are causing these things, and where are those behaviors coming from? And this is where it goes back to the abortion argument. And, you know, I'm not here to get into, oh, it's a woman's right to choose and you can't tell people. No. What I'm here to do is explore what happens after the abortion. What's the end result of allowing abortion? And here's what I see as the end result. Is you've got people who are in authoritative positions. Teachers, politicians, parents, other family members. They're in positions of authority over our youth, starting at a very young age. And some segments of the population believe so strongly in the woman's right to choose that they take these kids to rallies to support abortion and the right to choose. And so these kids are going through their life being told by the news media, politicians, teachers, these people of authority, that a person, an individual who gets pregnant has the right to decide if that child is going to live or if that child is going to die based upon that person's current situation in life. So what that says is that life is important as long as it doesn't interfere with my ability to live my life the way I want to live it. It says that my right to decide how to live my life is more important than someone else's right to live. And that someone else is someone who is harmless and it has no method, no way of defending itself. It's completely helpless. And that's not natural. That's not normal. As human beings, inside, for most of us, we have a natural desire to cherish life. We have a natural desire to protect life. Parents protect their children. Society protects its children. That's why we're outraged, because we didn't protect our children. But the reason we didn't protect our children is because we've taught our children that it's their right to decide if someone should live or die because of how it's going to affect their life. If they can gain 15 minutes of fame, if they can gain attention, if they can gain notoriety by doing this heinous act, and depriving someone else of their right to life, then that's okay. That's acceptable. Because we have made it acceptable to make that decision on a daily basis, hundreds and thousands of times a day. It's acceptable to say, I'm not in a financial position to have a baby. Okay, so I'm just going to terminate its life. I'm too young. I wasn't too young to go and create the child, but I'm too young, and if I take care of this child, it's going to change my future trajectory. It's going to change where my life goes. It's going to change how I have to live my life. And I don't want my life to change. I want my life to be what I want it to be. And because this child is going to change that, I have the right to decide, be the judge and jury and the executioner, and decide, is this child going to live or die? We've taught our children that our rights are more important than someone else's rights to life. That may not have been what we wanted to teach them, and that may not have been our intention. But to someone who is 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, or 16, they're not adults mentally. They haven't lived, they don't have the life experience. All they know is that people in authority have told them that your right to decide whether or not a child lives or dies is more important than that child's life. That's not what abortion was intended to do. But that's the end result. That's what's happened. That's the message we're sending. And nobody likes to talk about it, but it's true, and we know it. So if we don't set the example and respect all life, especially those amongst us who need the most protection and are the most defenseless, how can we expect our children to respect life? Think about it. And if you're intellectually honest, you'll see that it's true. We can't expect our children to respect life if we're not willing to respect it ourselves. Because we're the teachers. We're the ones that teach them. So we've ended up here because of our actions. And taking away a tool is not going to change that. That won't change the underlying behavior. The only thing that will change the underlying behavior is once again returning to a society where we respect life in all of its forms. All of them. Especially the most vulnerable among us.